StarCraft fans, it's Falcon Paladin coming at ya with yet another edition of StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void. Today, going to be a match between MaxPax and Elazer here on Blackburn, the latter edition. Bottom left, it is Elazer. Bottom right, it is MaxPax. Sweden here versus Poland, which is maybe a rivalry here. These two players are basically second-tier European players at this point. MaxPax on the way up, and Elazer is trying to get there to the first tier, but he's experiencing some roadblocks with Rainer, Cyril, and I don't know, Hero Marine and Clem and all those guys. So, we'll have to see what's going on here. All right, so getting your hatch blocked by a probe, a super common experience on the ladder these days for Zerg players. Just taking the natural base at the third base location, no big deal. And no proxy gates, no proxy cybernetic scores from MaxPax. We're going to have to watch out for proxies from this dude, because he certainly likes his proxies. 16, 18, and 17. Oh, hold on. And 17. For Elazer, one gate expand. If you are looking for a build order, lotv.spawningtool.com is a good place for build orders if you're looking for them. They have them sorted out by race and matchup, or species and matchup. Kind of feel like species is the right word there, because Protoss, humans, and Zerg are different species. Anyway. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-da. Happy Wednesday. Hope you're having a good time wherever you are. It is the holiday season. For some people, for other people, it's just December. And what it is, and there's nothing really to celebrate, but, you know. It's all good. Happy holidays to whoever is there. Happy Christmas to you. Happy Hanukkah. Happy Kwanzaa. Happy, I don't know. What other holidays? Happy Festivus to the rest of us, if that's what you're celebrating this December. I'm cool with all of it. No big deal. Celebration in December is necessary because it's so gosh darn cold and dark in the northern hemisphere. In the southern hemisphere, yeah, it's fine. There's no weather problems down that way, but you know, northern hemisphere folk do like festive lights and celebrations and parties and stuff because it is so gosh darn dark and cold. Anyway, December 21st is the winter equinox, which means it's the shortest day of the year. The days will get shorter until then, and they get longer after that day. So I think this is going to post around, a little bit before the winter equinox. Wow, all right. This is the priority for these lings, is killing this debris. It's going to take them about 3 minutes with their 0 attack upgrades, and this debris has, like, I don't know, what, 8 armor on it, so it's reducing all but 1 of the damage from these Zerglings. Amazing stuff. Third base from Elazer at the natural. We're going to call it the natural from this point on. And pulls all workers off gas here, does Elazer, after getting the spawning pool. Oh, so he's really planning on droning hard here, getting a lot of queens, which is going to be excellent against this Void Ray opening that MaxPax is tossing up. Having some queens is always a good thing to have. And all right, so Elazer not keeping any workers in gas here for a faster lair timing. He's, by I don't mean faster, right? Oh, never mind. Okay, so then he drops, then he saturates here at 330. Interesting build. What I've been doing with my Zerg is going for, once I have gas, then I pull all but one of the workers off, and then about the time that I'm ready to go for a lair, I have enough gas for a lair, is how that works. So he pulls them off entirely, and then tosses 3 on at once to get up to his lair timing. Interesting. So he does lose an Overlord because there's a Void Ray out. Third Nexus at sub 4 minutes here for MaxPax is pretty early stuff, man. There it be. Oracle coming in here too. We will use an Oracle name just because we don't have a lot of opportunities for those right now. And it's early enough in the game this is going to make sense. So Oracle's name is Pulsar. Pulsar is just a neutron star that periodically shoots gamma rays out of its bottom. It's made out of the strongest materials in the universe called nuclear spaghetti and nuclear lasagna. It's a true story. Look it up. Lings decided knocking down those rocks was not enough for them. They thirst for more blood, so they're going to go for this third. Maybe on, okay, so this Adept is, oh boy, I don't know. Focus firing, the warping in units would be excellent here because they're very vulnerable when they're warping in. They decide to go for the Zealots. Okay, so a bunch of Zealots die. Elazer. I like that. Taking down some Zealots, taking down an Adept too. Beautiful stuff from him. And the third base doesn't take any damage. Maybe a little tiny bit of damage there, but it'll be fine. It'll come up with 100 HP and maybe some shields that need to regen. But in the meantime, working on more queens, +1 air weapons is on the way here from MaxPax, perhaps going for a lot of them Void Rays, which is something we've seen more often in the current meta of StarCraft 2. Oracle trying to get some stuff done, but gets 0 kills, gets a Revelation down, queens fighting. 2 queens at a base are enough to handle an Oracle or a queen and a Spore. But if you only have a queen and only have a Spore, or only have a Spore, then you're going to have a hard time with it. So these lings, I don't know, that's the thing. If you want to make lings that knock down a third base, you kind of have to do it. I know that's it's kind of obvious to say, but man, this many lings being made this early is a bit of a, it's harming the economy of Elazer right now. It delays his 4th base. It delays his ability to get more drones up, which, you know, Zergs, they do like having that huge economy for certain strategies. And once you have a 3rd base up, you're kind of doing that, you know? A couple drones go down to Oracle, but otherwise not a huge deal. Nothing that Elazer can't withstand here. And shield battery at the 3rd base. Elazer is going, yeah, Void Ray. I saw when that +1 fly or air attack started coming in. That's when it felt to me like that's where we were going. Lings poke in, but they see, there's an Adept and a shield battery. So maybe we can get this assimilator. Nah, 2 Adepts, a little bit too scary there. Queens and Oracle getting chased away, or rather Void Rays and Oracle getting chased away by Queens. As Elazer's taking this 4th base, and he does have creep spread pushing out behind the minerals. We can see what's going on there. That's great. Oh, man, these lings. He is interested in going after this 3rd base with Zerglings, necessitating a warp in of a Zealot there to help defend. He sees it coming. Where are those? Oh, there are the Adepts. So the Adepts are there, and there's a Zealot and a shield battery, and it has full health. And or full energy, too, and full health. But, yeah, I just don't know. Maybe try to get inside the natural base, but the Adept is holding the line as the shield battery healing her up. And the Lings have to get the heck on out of there. Void Ray is going to try to push in. There is a fleet beacon on the way. This is just sky tossed right out of the bag from MaxPax, which is fairly vulnerable to queen walks and whatnot. So I'm not sure. God, queen dies to the Void Rays. There are 4 of them here. And yeah, traditionally Voids are not very good versus queens, but in a 1-to-1 scenario, they'll do fairly well. And if they had Flux Veins, they wouldn't be taking all of this damage, that's for sure. And that's what the fleet beacon is for. So 4th base is pretty happy here for Elazer. Adept's going to come and harass. Oh, man, look at this timing. They arrive right when the drones are transferring in here. Oracle going to help. All right, so now the Adepts are dead. They got totally pinned in and murderized. They don't have any attack upgrades whatsoever. Trying to push here down at the south with these Void Rays, forcing another Spore, recognizing the Void Ray count is enough. Oh, they're just individually picking off queens here. They're going to try to maybe prismatic alignment down the lair, but no. The queens turn around and try to fight here, but they're just kidding. They don't take the bonus damage from the prismatic alignment, but that Spore colony definitely does. More queens here fighting all the time. Ka-chow, ka-chow. Infestor's on the way from Elazer. I do love some good Infestor play. And MaxPax's attempt at a 4th base does get taken down by the Lings. They finally get a victory here. They haven't had much of one today at all. The Spire's going to go down. Moving the wounded Void Rays back. Spire down. Maybe even denying that +1 man, that +1 missile attack upgrade the Evolution Chamber is working on right now. This is looking like something for MaxPax. Oh, but loses a Void Ray there, and he's just going to go ahead and recall out. Oh, did not lose this Void Ray. 3 HP. Goodness gracious. All right, so Elazer not doing too poorly here. Got a 5th base coming up. I gotta say, I kind of feel like MaxPax is playing better than Elazer right now in 2021, but that doesn't mean he can't win this match. Definitely not. Replacing Fire for Elazer in a place where it's harder for Void Rays to get to and murderize. 4th base happily running. Income tab looks like this. It's really favoring Elazer at the moment because, again, MaxPax has a 3rd base. His 4th base got sniped, and he's trying to rebuild that thing. But again, it's very vulnerable. I guess the Void Rays are in the general. There we go. They're in the general vicinity, and they've got the Flux Veins now because they have the little contrails coming off their behinds. +1 attack done for them. Working on carriers now. Working on +2 for the Sky Toss. Pathogen Glands coming in from Elazer. Getting a Hive. This is good. I'm liking this a lot. This is a very, very... Oh, this isn't even destroyed yet, is it? That was the one they were trying to kill earlier, right? Yeah, and they finally... You're going to be able to get there with a bunch of Lings with no attack upgrades. Never mind, we're off to do something else. We want to kill these Adepts, and they will. Because that is just... that is way too many Zerglings. We don't have a recall available because we just recalled those Void Rays home. And now, not even worth it to save those 2 Adepts fairly well. Adepts, you have done the right thing here by dying. Aw. Greater Spire on the way. I like the concept of Broodlords and ZVP. They're not my favorite unit in all of StarCraft 2. They're just too slow. They don't do enough damage. There are too many answers to them from every race. But, you know, if Elazer wants to go for it, I'm not going to tell him no. Love that he has the top left base right now, so this is where it gets a little bit dicey. Man, these Adepts. MaxPax is just losing Adepts to Packs of Lings today. So this is a base you can take, and then it gets dicey for the 12 o'clock and for the 6 o'clock. And how many bases you can hold as a Zerg player against a Protoss or a Terran is going to be going to basically look at, excuse me, how much of a chance you have to win this game. Zealot moving out. Doesn't have legs yet. It's almost, oh, there we go. Just kicked in. Now look at him go. Look at those legs. They're a blur. Oh, he stopped. Oh, all right. Fair enough then. Charge lots up there. Oh, Ling Scout them heading up along the top side. Should be ready for that. That Zealot goes down. So it's Archon, Carrier, Void Ray here at 10 minutes. MaxPax 165 supply. Elazer working on Corruptors. Ling run by attempt numero something like 8. Is he? Oh, big warping. Yeah, big warping of Zealots in the main base. Ling's coming to try to deal with them. Making some roaches to try to deal with those two. Meanwhile, also a Sky Toss attack at the gold base here of Elazer. So enough enough queens to handle that. But the Hive, is it going to go down? Can the Lings save it? Do they have upgrades? No. They don't have any attack upgrades. They don't have Adrenal, which means this is a dead Hive. No saving it. Unless the Zealots choose not to kill it, which they totally did. Oh, man. Zealots going to town right now. Void Rays killing creep tumors. Trying to not get fungled right in the face. Microbial Shroud is up. We do see Microbial Shroud from time to time in this matchup, and here's a day where it is. If we have Infestors, we might as well be using it here, which makes Blizzard balance testers and deciders very happy. Roaches are still trying to deal with Zealots here inside the main base. Spinecrawler trying to assist. Some of these Zealots are bugging out because their pathing was bad there, but that should clean it up. But holy smokes, losing the main Hive is a huge setback. He did have a lair somewhere else, obviously. There we go, at the second base, because he's upgrading that one to a Hive now, so he's not going to be without for too long. But that was pretty damaging, and really no damage on the other side of the map. MaxPax doesn't take any hits whatsoever. So you got to consider, even if you don't necessarily kill your opponent, or kill like 1 million of their workers or something, if you do damage to them and they do no damage to you on the other side of the map, you're going to feel pretty good about yourself, and you should. More carriers on the way. Corruptor count needs to go up considerably as a result. And by that I mean there's no Corruptors on the field. Is it just going to be Queen with Microbial Shroud? My goodness to gracious. Oh, the Spire is going to die again. Look at that. That's a Greater Spire down. Carriers finishing it off here. Fungal really good at preventing retreats. And just fighting against these Interceptors, there are just enough Queens to do this. They got +1 attack. The Microbial Shroud is up again. Meanwhile, a few Zealots try to make a run by at the 12 o'clock. That gets intercepted by Elazer quite nicely. Microbial Shroud just makes it look like, I don't know. It looks like just some kind of like toxic gas has been released there. I assume those are bugs, is the whole concept behind Microbial Shroud. Like Dark Swarm is in Brood War. It's bugs reducing incoming damage, except in Brood War it reduces all of the damage ranged from air and ground targets and is really, really good. Microbial Shroud is not as good, but you know, that's generally how this works. Storms are storms. Spells are better in Brood War than they are in StarCraft 2. And Psionic Storm is a great example of that for sure. Alright, Tempest coming out to try to deal with the Brood Lords and maybe sniping off Infestors too while you're at it. Ling's heading on back. Really interested in taking down debris today. This debris is dead. This other debris is coming in now. And by coming in, I mean being destroyed. The Lings have Adrenal. The Lings have +1 attack now, so they're much better than they were about 2 or 3 minutes ago. But yeah, MaxPax is pretty happy to be on equal base footing with Elazer right now. He really should not have any complaints whatsoever. I mean, if anyone can take the 12 o'clock and the 6 o'clock, or even these ones are harder to take, but not super hard to take. What the heck is killing probes. Something just killed some probes. I don't know if MaxPax sacked those to make some more room for supply or what, but I don't see any engagements. I don't see any engagements there. Working on Ultralisks, replacing that Spire. MaxPax doing some work here, trying to go after the tech of the Zerg player. Spines ready to rock. Okay. Spine's helping here quite a bit, and fairly well. Zealots, that was not the most successful warp-in of all time by any stretch. 8 more probes die. Man, just running Zealots across the map, and they're not even getting close to their targets. Elazer's doing such a good job with that. Mothership looking for a recall up around this way. We can see her. Well, I see what you're up to, Mothership. We're going to try to distract with this. Oh, and the Queens have terrible mobility, and the Broodlords too, so I like this. So basically, you kind of force Elazer to respond to the southern section of the map, and then when he commits everything, you recall up this way? Or just allow the Mothership to kill Zerglings. I mean, that's a good use of... Nope, there it is. Beautiful play. Beautiful play. And now Elazer's running up to the north as fast as he can with his Queens and his Broodlords, but they are slow and kind of terrible in situations like these. The Spore Crawler Forest is helping with this, doing pretty well against the Interceptors. And actually, that does force MaxPax back. Second, look at Elazer preparing for this. He knows. He knows what we're dealing with here is going to be a recall up into this area. So let's get the spores up. My gosh, Fungals tossed down. Feedbacks on all the Infestors, though. That might be it for spellcasting for some time. And then you're kind of getting choked up on your own Sim City of these Spore Crawlers here. So that's not good either. MaxPax looking all right. Army supply bigger. Economy even size right now. The Tempests, do they have Tectonic Stabilizers? They don't, but they're working on it. That increases their damage against buildings, which Spores definitely are. Another Zealot attack to the south. Every Protoss is incorporating these little Zealot run-bys into their match, into their matches, especially against Zerg. Just because walling's not really a thing for Zerg, and Zealots can just kind of wander right in the front door and do whatever they need to do, which is, I don't know, killing some drones. Maybe killing an Infestor. Oh, that Infestor has to burrow to get out of there. Nicely done. Very intelligent play getting that Infestor out of there with the burrow upgrade, which has been researched here. So, MaxPax, I don't know that he needs to take another base. Actually, he is a base up on... Oh, I forgot about this one. MaxPax is a base up on the Zerg player, which means the income is creeping up in his favor here. Another Zealot warp-in. Man, not getting rid of this Warp Prism has been such a problem for Elazer today. Ultra is just kind of doing the, Zealot thing, running across the map, seeing what they can kill, but they don't want to die as much as the Zealots do. The Zealots have a bit of a death wish, and it results in them definitely never making it home, whereas these Ultras do make it home and get transfused just because they're so gosh darn gas expensive is the thing. Zealots, not gas expensive. Not at all. No gas at all required to make a Zealot. Dark Shrine coming in. More Zealots in the main base. Yeah, man. I mean, as long as you got the money for it, which he does. He's got 2,000 minerals in the make. He can afford to do a warp-in of charge lots every once in a while. Kill some spores. Yeah, look at this. Going after some of these drones while you have to focus really heavily on the army at your front door. The Laser is sort of kind of getting just a little bit picked apart here. Ultras decide to go after top right base, which is defended by only cannons at the moment. Stalkers do bonus versus armored, so they're not a bad choice versus Ultralisks at all. And once they warp in, the Ultras have to get on out of there. There's still a Zealot here, guys. He's got 3 kills. And then he gets tusked to death by the Ultralisk. So, this is turning into something. I'll give it a something rating at this stage. Once again, MaxPax he has an economic advantage. It doesn't really show here for some reason. I guess a lot of that is this base isn't fully saturated, so it's not fully giving him the benefits of that extra base that he owns. So the benefits are fairly minimal at this stage, but having a little bit of income more than your Zerg opponent is a pretty good feeling. Recall available on the Mothership here. She's just, she's here. She's hanging out. Shining her spotlights on the ground as Motherships are wont to do. More spores on the way. I mean, this is kind of turning into like a Scarlet versus Estrella style game, or like a Scarlet Neebs EVP, where they just know each other very well, which these players do. They play against each other all the time on ladder. Okay, so abducts. There we go. Abducts the mothership, kills it. That's a win. I don't know what it was doing down here by itself for so long. Just waiting to get abducted, I guess. It's a heroic unit, which means it can't be mind controlled, but it can be abducted. That's been the case for a couple of years now. And look at this. MaxPax taking the 6 o'clock base. I mean, this is just disastrous for Elazer right now. Elazer, friend, I like how you're playing this, but I need you to take another base, or I need you to kill a Protoss base in the next, like, 2 minutes, man. You have a window here. It's just the problem is, a lot of his army is queens, and queens are bad at offense. They're really bad at offense. Oh, those stalkers just had no chance, did they? No, but they did scout the presence. Oh, DT in there gets killed. The presence of the Zerg army at the 12 o'clock here, so that intelligence is good intelligence to have. I mean, any intelligence of where the enemy is good intelligence. 12 o'clock base coming up. Ah, here we go. Broodlords. Doing Broodlordy things. Actually going after some probes here at the gold base of MaxPax. Taking down cannons easily because free units are free. Broodlords are pretty good that way, but the Broodlords are slow and squishy and really easy to kill if you can attack them at all. What's the answer to the Broodlords, people always ask? Well, can you attack it with a unit? That unit is a counter. As simplistic as that is, and it is a little simplistic for sure. But my goodness, Broodlords, not the greatest of units. This little ultra hit squad that's been running around all day is kind of my favorite thing that Elazer is doing here. And he gets them out of there, too. He doesn't just move them to the enemy and let them die like a lesser Zerg player would, like I totally would. I would be like, kill this base ultras, and I'd focus on something else for 10 minutes and forget they existed, and then they would die. More Void Rays coming in. Changelings here. It just, again, when a lot of your supply is queens, it 19 queens for to be exact here. You just can't run. Not on offense. You can run on defense to a certain extent. Hatch down. That's what I'm talking about. So MaxPax is like, well, I'm going to lose an old base and kill a new base. We got a fungal off and a parasitic bomb. The fungal parasitic bomb combination isn't great. It's not the worst thing either. Also, man, High Templar down after casting a storm. Infestors dying after casting a fungal here. This is actually a lot of green on these units. Parasitic Bomb, not the best thing against carriers, but it's not nothing either. Holy engagement here. Mycobial Shroud is up, keeping the queens alive, and Queen Corruptor is doing some work here. It's not a lot of Corruptors, it's just a few, but they have, you know, pretty decent upgrades. By that I mean they have +2 flyer attack, and wow, the Elazer won that battle handily. 176 to 94 total supply right now. And what do we remax on here? Making some Void Rays, some Stalkers, a carrier. MaxPax is a little bit unsure what to do because Elazer kind of covered his bases. He's got the Queen count, right? So he's good against Void Rays. He's got the Corruptors, so he's good against the carriers and the Tempests. I'd love to see Elazer retake this base, and he's working on it. There's a drone coming from somewhere. I don't know where. And the Broodlords are like, well, if there aren't any Void Rays showing up to kill us all, then I guess we just keep moving around. Is that the plan here? The Ultras do break down the rocks and get into the 6 o'clock, but then, like, again, some Stalkers show up and they flee. Oh, just used a blink for no reason whatsoever, and therefore don't have a blink to get out of here. And oh no, okay, MaxPax's attention is elsewhere. He's up here. There we go. Blink Stalkers blinking in, Broodlord down. That's what I'm talking about. It is so easy for a lot of units to kill Broodlords. They are squishy. They don't have a ton of HP, but, you know, they've got range and they have free units, and that's what is the balancing here. So they're going to warp in some DTs to try to deal with this. There was an Overseer with this group. Do you remember how there was an Overseer with this group? Where did that thing go? I don't know, but the Void Rays have shown up, so this base is going to survive. Top right base in a bit of more trouble here, though. MaxPax is back up to 150 supply. He did have a bank enough to do that, but not much more. He has 150 minerals in his bank right now. This top right base is going down. MaxPax, that's his second newest source of income. That is not good to be losing right now. The Elazer taking the 12 o'clock base while all of this chaos has been going on. Yaikaramba. This is definitely turning into something in favor of Elazer right now. He heard me. He heard me talking smack about him earlier, and he was like, shut up, Falcon. I'm an elite Zerg player. I can take down MaxPax with my eyes closed and my hands behind my back. And it's like, you know, man, maybe you can. I'm not going to doubt you. That said, you're transferring drones into an active war zone where there is a DT. He's He's just racking up the drone kills. No big deal here. Elaser's down to 40 workers at the moment. He has to bring his slow Queen Broodlord army back to deal with this. And does he have detection with him? This answer is no. Where are his overseers today? Honestly, there's a couple of them. Where did that DT go? Did he get out of there? Did he escape back into this zone? I don't know who. Maybe he wandered. Oh, okay, maybe the detection of the Spore Crawler allowed the queens to kill him. That would make a lot of sense. I was looking for Overseer-style detection. And once again, Elazer doing a good job of getting his Ultralisks out of there. It's good. What is killing more drones, honestly? Oh, just a DT pair cruising around, running right into Ultras and getting obliterated. Those are the 3 fully upgraded Ultralisks. Thanks for asking. Broodlords are now down here to the south. They came all this way to try to save against some Dark Templar. 6 o'clock base for MaxPax is under fire. Oh man, he just keeps losing probes here, though. I mean, the number of probes that have died for Elazer is a lot. Yes, it is 40, but it's 54 for MaxPax. And the top right base goes down to Ultras. And things are just kind of falling apart for MaxPax all of a sudden. This composition of Elazer, I kind of love it. I kind of like it a lot. Yeah, you can feed back the Infestors, and you can kind of feed back the Queens too, but they're tough. We're going to duck the mothership in and take her down with a couple volleys. Trying to retreat through a time warp, though. Transfuse the Corruptors. Try to keep them alive. Bring the Void Rays into Queen range. Storm, beautifully done. Gotta dodge the Storm for sure. Broodlords can't run from this. Run, Broodlords. Get out of there. No. Oh my gosh. Broodlord's just getting destroyed. And the Ultralisk group on the right side of the map going through, killing more stuff, which is not a huge deal for MaxPax right now. It's dead bases, it's cannons that are protecting nothing, and MaxPax is making a move. He's feeling a little bit desperate. He's going to kill the Spore Crawler Force, which is there for that very purpose, is to slow down the Sky Protoss. That's what Spore Crawler Forests are for. And then using the Microbial Shroud again. Elazer is making more extensive use of Microbial Shroud in this game than I've seen from anybody other than probably, what was it? Dark? I'm going to say it was like a Dark versus Trap style game that I think I gave an epic tag to. It was such a good match. It really came down to the wire. This one feels less like it's coming down to the wire, just because it's 195 to 125 supply here in favor of Elazer. Spores getting burrowed every which way. Broodlords back in. They're here for another round of shooting broodlings at stuff that are really far away. And there's the Microbial Shroud is up. The Void Rays are going to focus down the Broodlords, or actually focusing on Queens just a little bit here. My gosh, it's kind of a pretty sight. The greens and the oranges and the reds all over the place. Are there enough Corruptors to one-shot carriers here with the upgrades they have? The answer doesn't seem to be yes. It seems to be no. But MaxPax's army, when the Zerg is sticking around this long, he feels pretty confident he can do this thing. And yeah, these carriers are going down right quick, and that's your good game. MaxPax loses the 6 o'clock base. He knows he's dead, and Elazer is your winner in 27 minutes and 55 seconds. Absolutely insanely impressive show from him. Yeah, man, great game from Elazer. Queens, the backbone of the army. I mean, sure, he had Broodlords, he had Ultras, he had some Roaches, he had Corruptors, he had Infestors. It was a big, broad composition, which is always good to see in StarCraft 2. I feel like the more broad your composition, the better you are. Like Sky Toss, it's not just making carriers or just carriers and Void Rays. You want carriers, Void Rays, Tempest, Archons, High Templar, right? Dark Templar, and then you have your comp. And same thing with the Zerg. If you just try to go Corruptors, it's not going to work. Same with Corruptor Broodlord, not going to work. You need the Infestors, you need the Queens, you need the Vipers, right? You need all of these pieces, the Broodlords, and then you can make it work here against Skytoss and make it kind of look a little bit weak, honestly. Microbial Shroud, I think it may be better than any of us gave it any credit for. Which is kind of hard for me to say, but, you know, we've seen a few examples now of where it's just been amazing. So, yeah, let me know in the comments. You think Microbial Shroud is better than we thought when it was first announced? So MaxPax, 60,000 resources lost and only 37,000 lost for Elazer, which is crazy. I mean, if that is your resources lost, it's very hard to win a game as a Protoss player against a Zerg. It would mean they maybe didn't make a lot of stuff, so they didn't have a lot to lose. But In this case, Elazer made a ton and didn't lose all that many, all things considered. Yeah, 45 drones down, 61 probes got killed, 350 interceptors is a lot of interceptors, 19 carriers, 9 broodlords, 27 corruptors, 15 infestors, 13 vipers. Only 1 ultralisk died today, which I was saying that earlier. I was giving Elazer credit for keeping his ultras alive, where a lesser Zerg would just kind of let them go and maybe get some stuff done but also die, but he would get stuff done, and when something came to threaten them, he backed them out and therefore kept them alive, and they got a lot of work done today. So good job on those ultralisks, showing more concern for their life than they usually do. But yeah, MaxPax, he had it, man. He had a base lead on Elazer, and then he just couldn't win any engagements. I mean, yes, he did get the Zealots into the main base and snipe the Hive, and yes, he killed a couple hatcheries today and killed that Spire once, and then the Greater Spire once too. But when it came right down to it, he just didn't know what to do with the Mass Queen, Microbial Shroud, Corruptor, Viper, Infestor play, with some Roach support too. He seemed a little bit lost. I wonder if going for more of a ground style comp would have been better there, just because Microbial Shroud is useless once you've gone for the carriers and the Void Rays. Yeah, I mean, once you've chosen to go for things like Disruptors or Colossus or Immortals. But, you know, hindsight is 50-50. MaxPax is kind of committed to his deal. Sometimes that's all that it takes. All right, good stuff. Great stuff. And that right there is going to be it for me. This has been Falcon Paladin coming at you with yet another edition of StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void. Go ahead, hit that like button, hit that subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, and Twitch, all at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.